two, three. Hey, Roberto Monaco here with Influenciology, and today I have my brother, Dr. Bob McIntosh. Dr. Bob, what's happening, buddy?
Just hanging out with one of the coolest people, talking about the funnest stuff ever.
I love it. I love it. And today I want to do a quick interview here to share with the community because I have the pleasure to know Dr. Bob for many years, and he creating a massive, massive impact in corporate America to help companies, employees to live a healthier lifestyle and minimize the chances of getting injured in work. I'm gonna leave the message to the expert, but I want to start kind of like creating like a context here, Dr. Bob. When it comes to health and wellness in corporate America, what is the current landscape that you see?
Ooh, this is the conversation that I get into every week. And the conversation is both with the executive suite and the HR and risk management. But then I also get to experience it because I'm a practicing provider. I get to experience it from their perspective. And when there is things that happen, they do have whether it's injuries at work or just accumulating injuries of time over time. And what I get to see both sides of it intimately, and I get to understand it. But in America, the biggest problem right now is you have the healthcare world that is completely separate from anything else, like a fortress.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the working population that's supporting America. Like we are out there doing the things, building the power lines. We are the ones out there building buildings, but there's this barrier to entry as far as into the healthcare space. And that is the biggest problem. And healthcare costs just keep climbing through the roof. It's just unstoppable. I think some of the statistics when I was talking with them, their expenditures on health insurance are like 28% increase year over year.
Wow.
18%, 25%. It's across the board, and it's not stopping.
That's crazy. No, what I love about what you just said was the that you understand not only from someone who goes inside a company and does wellness training, but you actually a doctor. You're practicing. You're helping people on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people don't have that perspective. So tell me a little bit about Fit to Live. Why you decided to open up this company?
So a little bit about my past is I used to be a diesel mechanic.
You
Worked for
were?
Cat. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know
I
that.
worked for Caterpillar, and then I also worked out in the coal mines in Northeast Wyoming.
Okay.
And so I understand industry. Like I understand what it's like out there working, earning a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I decided to go to my professional school and so became healthcare provider. And through this whole entire time, I've had the mindset of we're impactful. Like how our employees feel impacts my company.
Mm-hmm.
And this disparity, I believe healthcare should be in the workplace. And so I like to be able to go out and experience and learn from people what they do and what we can do to be able to help prevent those people from ending up in the healthcare system. Because once you're
Mm.
in it, you ain't getting out.
Mm-hmm. So are you
And
guys more focused on injury prevention or
mm,
more towards building, let's call health and wellness culture in the company,
so
or both?
what it is an exact mix of both because if your culture doesn't shift
Mm-hmm.
towards an injury prevention mindset and understanding that, you know what, being tough and toughing it out is not the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to understand that being tough is also taking care of yourself. You can
Mm.
have that person in the field that's fit
Mm-hmm.
and takes care of themselves
Mm-hmm.
because they deserve it. And I mean, I think in our country is one of the big things is being able to understand we can take time to take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We tell our kids to go stretch out before their sports,
Yeah.
but then we go do our
We don't
sport.
do
We
it.
ain't working out and stretching. Like, what kind of that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this side, but there's this understanding of the stretching programs that are out there. But why? Why do we do the stretching programs? Why is it
Mm-hmm.
relevant? So
Mhm.
I think that's another topic. So
So tell me the profile of the people that you help. Are you working more with uh, uh, let's call employees that go out there and they're in the field doing the kind of work that you're doing, before
Mhm.
driving tractors, or more office people? What is the profile?
So I'll just give an example. One of the electric cooperatives, because they're across the country, right?
Okay,
Electric's
yeah.
everywhere. We need them. And electric, they have linemen, they
Hmm.
have warehouse, and they have admin, because you have to have admin to keep the business rolling, right?
Okay,
They're
yeah, for
both
sure.
symbiotic. So
Yeah.
you have to live in both worlds. You have to understand the office
Hmm.
and you have to understand the field. Like
Hmm.
this week, I went out and this is just multiple times. Like I take my employees out on the mine site and I'll put them in a truck or a loader. I'm like, rehabber, front desk,
I love
insurance.
it.
Like,
I love it.
you're gonna know why you're doing your job right now. I
Hmm.
want to go out. So this week I went out with the lineman, and so Sam and she took off in one truck, and I took off in another. We went. She comes back with like a whole bunch of cool stuff, like one of the poles was from 1948, and so they have a pin on it, and you get to see this culture of these linemen, and they're
Mhm.
collector's items, like this
Oh, that's
little.
cool. That's
So
cool.
she brought stuff back, but we go out and we connect in their world and understand what's important to them. And
Hmm.
it's our conversations. I mean, they enjoy their work, but it was about their kids.
Hmm.
It was about their property, selling a house, that
Hmm.
they're moving out into the country and they're
Hmm.
going to raise some cattle, and that's their life. That's the real life. That's why we do what we do.
They gotta have their health for sure to be able to
Yep.
do that. Right?
So that's the spread in work that we do.
The beautiful. So we usually, when the companies they say, "Hey, we need feature lift here," and they make the phone call. What were the scenarios they're going through right now?
Okay. In general, there's three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Three types of scenarios. Number one is there's lots of injuries and they don't know how to start putting the fire out.
Mm-hmm.
And that those companies, they just need something to help stop the bleeding and the
Mm-hmm.
expenditures and those types of things. That's not who I actually end up working with the most.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I work with the most are the ones, the second one. They're the ones that they don't have a lot of injuries. They want to just increase how their employees feel, like that the employer cares about them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we pass that message. Like, what is their message? How do they want their employees to feel cared for, cared about? And that is the side, the most engaged groups. Not it's They're the most fun because
Mm-hmm.
you're not there like a policing agent, if you will.
Yep. Yep.
And third one, is as far as being able to shift culture, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have a stretching routine
Mm-hmm.
and they just can't get that engagement, and
Mm-hmm.
they just go through the motions again. They're like, oh, I do the stretch,
Mm-hmm.
and then they do a couple of these, and then they do squats, and they're like, yep, we did our check the box.
Mm-hmm.
But now you take this understanding of those stretches and explain to them. We talk about four things called MAPS: mobility, alignment, pain, and stability.
Okay.
And those areas, we talk about that and we teach them why they're doing those stretches.
That's great. From all the companies and the businesses that you have helped, can you give an example of the outcomes? What happens after they engaged with Fit to Lift?
Uh, First one, probably my favorite, was with a fire department.
Okay.
And we come in and start teaching this stuff and talking about nutrition, and it's talking about inflammation. And what ended up happening was the older guys, right? The
Hmm.
old guard in the company
Yep.
starts getting results, and they're like, man, I feel better. And so then they turn and I'll shift it over, and the young guys
Yeah.
start going, okay, I got to listen to this guy because I don't want to end up hurting and having lots of problems when I'm 20 years down the road working.
Hmm.
Um, that's pretty cool to
That's
watch the
great. That's
culture
great.
shift inside. The other
When.
one we just had was this current like big multi-state company
Mhm.
is their locations, it's the young guys right now. I'm like, this is backwards. But they're 21 and 23, and they were so excited to show me this Sigma 6 operation that they're doing. But then they're like, we brought you here to show you the posters and the things that you do here, and we have the check marks that we're doing this every single day. And it's just they're engaged because they're like, dude, I'm sore at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And 23 years old, I want to make it to be 65 and enjoy my life.
Amen. Amen. Now, as a leader and business owner or CEO, CFO, HR person, I think I believe, it's my belief that they might be like, yeah, makes sense, right? Take care of our employees, send a
Yeah.
message. But one of the objections or the concerns may be, how do I know people going to follow through? How do I know people actually going to engage? I think that is a fair question to ask.
Yeah. So you're asking on like really just percentage of engagement.
Yeah. So what is it? So when it
So
comes to once you launch or deploy a Fit to Lift program, how
yeah.
what is the percentage? What should I expect as a leader in terms of engagement?
So in our letters of reference, they write as far as what I mean, we have one that's like the coolest letter of reference.
Hmm.
95+% engagement.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
Right?
That's
So
incredible. That's incredible.
it's
That's incredible.
fun
That's
because it
incredible.
makes, yeah. I,
So
I
what
just
do you feel? And I, by the way, I'm not an expert in corporate wellness. That's not what I do. But I'm assuming there are maybe safety managers. I know there's OSHA training. There's maybe what do you think makes Fit to Lift a unique program out there?
okay. So what we're not is we're not an OSHA compliance group, right?
Hmm.
We are really that culture, and we want to pass a message to the employees that they feel that they're cared about, like I was saying earlier.
Hmm.
Um, and being able to make sure and show that there's number one that this you get the stories back of the lives that you've changed.
Hmm.
And this last round, we found 3 people with major neck problems that had no idea that they had disc herniations with their hand.
Wow. Wow.
And they're like, okay, I got to get things starting to, as far as working on all of the areas that
Hmm.
you're talking about. Yeah, it's another layer deeper. And sometimes those guys are the tough, grumpy ones that don't want to talk to you at first.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then it's just like layers of an onion, and you're making it through them to be able, and you hear these stories and they have these questions. And that's another reason for it. So go back, ask that question again. As far what were you trying to get at? I
No,
think
no.
I hit part of
I'll
it.
start to get out like, as far as the how unique, how different.
It's there's okay, so our message number one is being able to show exactly why people would take care of themselves,
Hmm.
why they deserve it. So we've covered that. There's a difference because let's talk as far as most of the time these people, whether it's a CFO or a CEO, they want to know they have a return on investment.
Hmm.
There's right now, you're just paying the premiums on your work comp or your health insurance.
Yeah.
There's no way other than just ride the wave up.
Hmm.
And sometimes what you'll see the injury expenditures
Hmm.
reduce.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say sometimes. It's been every time so far. So it's 90% reduction on medical expenditures with some employers, and it's increased return to work times, incidence reduction, and being able to look at the old school reports that you get now and look
Hmm.
at it retrospective. But where we are really different is we have the trainer to keep the message going. But then
Nice.
be, sometimes people like you can buy all these health apps and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
you have no idea if it's themed for you, and there's a struggle with it. So scale ends up being a problem. So you can have these smaller employers or bigger employers. If they
Hmm.
have multiple locations, how do you get that message out there? So in our ability, we have the ability to assess however many locations you have with technology, and you can assess employees. And then we go through and look at their data. And then there's a dashboard that the company gets to see the aggregate data of what their whole company looks like.
That's
All the
great.
individuals, not their individuals, like
That's
it's
great.
their company. And then the employees get their own data so that they know why they're doing the things they're doing. So they get their annual reports with it too. So you get this scalable technology. We call it high tech and high touch.
I love that.
And
I love
we
that.
we just want to be able to make sure that it's not, because the world of AI is great,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, man, we can't miss out on this high touch part of
100%.
this. You
So
have
if
to have that message.
so if someone is listening to us right now and they'd be like, I'm curious, what is the usually the first step? Obviously contacting you, but after they contact you, usually what is the first step for a company to explore
So
Fit to Lift?
So, give you an example. Like right now, I'm actively going into another employer,
Mm-hmm.
and they want their maps testing, and so
Mm-hmm.
we'll have an assessment that we
Can you
go.
explain to the audience here what is MAPS testing again?
Yeah.
More
So
detail, yeah.
mobility is in our musculoskeletal system. We have ranges of motion that tell us about the joint health, the
Mm-hmm.
muscle health, and if we lose motion, you're losing joint health.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of studies that if you just work on mobility, you reduce
Mm-hmm.
injuries.
Okay.
So posture, one of the big things in posture, if the person is sitting there and they have forward head carriage, it's a
Mm-hmm.
huge predictor for neck pain, for shoulder pain, for back pain.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're able to take and assess that with an image,
Mm-hmm.
now you can watch the company go from a 3-inch forward head carriage down to an 1.5 inch head carriage. And now they have reduced injuries based on just postural ergonomic strain.
That is the alignment piece.
That's alignment. And
Yeah.
then pain is, you don't know if you have pain within a company until you have an injury,
Yeah.
right? So that's like an 8, 9, 10 out of 10 pain. What
Especially
about,
especially people nowadays, and you know the statistics probably better than I do, but how many Americans are taking central medication to suppress pain, you know?
yes. And we
Yeah.
just live in this low level pain of
Mm-hmm.
1 to 3 to 4 for pain levels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got a headache again, pop some ibuprofen, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What about taking care of their frame and structure?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we look at and assess that pain score from in these areas from the neck and headache,
Mm-hmm.
shoulder, middle back, low back, hip, knee, foot and ankle. Foot
That's
pain is
awesome.
its own big thing, right? All of them.
100%.
So if we don't assess that and you get this scoring in all the areas, you don't even know what to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
You might have the admin that has completely different complaints
Mm-hmm.
than the lineman or the diesel mechanics or that's where pain comes into it, because if we show areas and understand that there's a higher point to talk about for the admin, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to make sure and talk about that with them and address that with them so that they feel personally cared for. So then that's P on maps, and then S, strength and stability. We'll
Mm-hmm.
do some movements as far as test them and see how they can raise their arms and
Mm-hmm.
be able to bend over and pick something up. And if they're failing in these movements, it's early onset for injury. So
Mm-hmm.
we can look at all that, and then we get to put that on each individual's dashboard and show them their risk score or their area for them to work on. And
Love
so
that.
that's what we get to do with
So that is the
maps.
first, usually that's the first step is to do a
Yep.
MAPS assessment in the company.
Yep. And
That's
then sit down and talk about the results.
got it.
Talk about how you would approach those results. And some employers don't want to do anything. That's
Yeah.
fine. But the ones that are like, I want to take care of my people, we roll out a program for them, and we'll do the quarterly classes, and we'll scale the education, we'll scale the content for them so that no matter how big they are or how little they are,
Yeah.
they have something that's personalized for them.
Beautiful. And what is the best way to learn more about you and your program? The best way to contact you?
So my email is Dr. Bob at fit to lift with the number 2, fit number 2 lift.com. So you can email me there and I'll be able to answer any questions and go from there.
Thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate you very much. Thank you.